record this, record to the cloud. So welcome everybody to the Global Chamber Sales Roundtable. I am thrilled to introduce our presentation today with Dan Dominguez. A few years ago, maybe 2 years ago, he was a speaker at a conference and he had a breakout session. And everybody in that session was just electrified. He's just a sales pro and a professional presenter, second to none. So welcome. And we're going to learn about the power of knowing your why operating system and how it can help you become an even better salesperson and leader and build better connections with people faster. So Dan is the former Chief Growth Officer of the Why Institute and now the founder of Why Not Leadership and the Lead Different podcast. Definitely tap into his podcast. So he's been the sales director of an organization that exceeded $1 billion quota. So with that said, I will turn this presentation into Dan's good hands. And so Dan, welcome, and it's all yours.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Connie. I promise that's not me. If you can keep an eye on external noises like that, we'll try to. I know people are calling in from all over the world. So thank you very much, Connie, for the invitation. Thank you, Doug Brunke, for being one of my, number one, for allowing me this opportunity to talk to your team. Andrea Ballou and Jacob Dietz, all of you who participated in the pre-call stuff, has been a lot of fun. Let me start, this is not, you're not going to sit here and listen to me for 45 minutes. I want you to know that. What we're going to do is we're going to be real interactive. So we're going to start that right away. Why are you here today? I would love for you, anybody that's here, there's 21 people that I see as participants in the chat. Tell us why you're here today. Let's just put it in there and let's get an idea of what the mindset is for the group. Why did you decide to spend an hour of your valuable time with us today? And don't be shy. Rose, 10x your results. I like it. That was as advertised, right? So let's do that. Andrea, to share the great results I received from doing the assessment and talking to Dan. Grow and learn. Love it. Love it. Someone was going to speak up.
Yes, this is Pankaj Pramanik. I'm here on Semicon West, San Francisco, California. My base is North Carolina, Charlotte. We are a global VC fund manager working around the world. And Doug, Cesar, Elisa, I'm calling from the venue. I'm already on the venue. So
excellent.
I share my details. Anyone is looking for funding, we can help. I'll share my contact details on the chat box. So
excellent.
I'll be not able to join till 10. So my local time here, I'll be join at least 30 minutes and then I have to leave because today is the last day. Last day, they are like closing up everything. They are starting late and ending early. So thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for chiming in. And if we can keep our responses short, because we don't have a lot of time today, that would be great. That's why we're using the chat. So those of you that have chat, I saw a title caught my attention. I'm in growth mode and want to increase my portfolio size. Power of White might be a portion of the answer to dealing with evolving business challenges. VUCA, right? Jacob, hello, everyone. Calling in from my phone at a climate event. Peter, I'm very technically oriented professional, increasingly working in relationship management across borders. Oh, you're going to like this, Peter. So, all right, that gives me a little bit about what we're doing. This is about you guys. So expect to participate, expect to be called upon. So here's a couple of rules that I like to make sure we talk about. Are you ready? What I want you to do is to be here. I want you to silence your cell phones. I want you to, your notifications, turn that stuff off. I've done it. It's only 1 hour. I promise the world is not going to catch fire and disappear. And you're not going to be the one called to save the world if that happens, right, guys? So let's turn it off. Let's be here 100%. The other thing I'd ask you to do is let's be careful of our ego sneaking in, right? You might be thinking, hey, I already know my why. I already know this stuff. But if somebody as experienced and as knowledgeable as Andrea learned something new from this, I think you can learn something new. So don't say, I don't want to do that. Or don't say I can do this myself. I don't need Dan's help. If that and that can be your mindset. And what we're going to do is try to show you some ways to make it easier, right? Because you know what? Not one of us got here by ourselves. We got here with the help of colleagues and friends. I've got the beautiful and talented Nikki Ortiz, who's a member of my team. You'll see her waving. She's the person that puts all this stuff together. She's the one that does all the coordinating. She helps create all these beautiful slideshow presentations from my ideas. And so I know that we all need help. And so if you're humble enough to say, hey, I might need some help with this stuff, then that's what we're here for. And that's why I love being connected to people like Connie, because she doesn't just talk about collaboration and helping, she does it. 2 months ago, I had no idea what Global Chamber was. And now I've got like 4 or 5 new friends that are part of Global Chamber because of that connection that I have with Connie. She has always been so professional and so wonderful at helping the people that I sent her way that I couldn't say no when she said, hey, do you want to be on our Global Chamber call? So thank you for that, Connie. So let's talk about why we're here. You're in the right place if you ever asked yourself, why do I do what I do? More importantly, have you ever asked yourself, why do I constantly do that? Why do I repeatedly do what I do? We're going to get into that today. You're in the right place today if you ever wondered why other people don't just do things the way you think they should be done. Because wouldn't the world be a better place if people just did things the way we think they should be done? You're in the right place today if you've ever wondered why you connect with some people really quickly and not others. There's some people, like the people I've met already through Global Chamber, that I connect with immediately. Andrea, Jacob, Doug, Connie, Gabriela Castro, we connected almost immediately, and we knew we had similar missions and passions. But then there's some people that, and you've experienced it, right, Rose? You meet them and you could talk to them for 3 hours and there's almost no connection. So we want to figure that out. You're in the right place today if you've ever wondered why you have energy for some things and not others. I'm on vacation with my family today, and I couldn't not do this. Now, this vacation got rescheduled, Connie, so it's not your fault. We were supposed to be on vacation last weekend. We had to reschedule. So we're out here in northern New Mexico, in beautiful Red River, New Mexico. And I have energy for this, even on my vacation, because I love helping people. I love spreading the word of how to know yourself better so you can connect better with other people. So you couldn't drag me away from this today. You're in the right place today if you know in your heart that you've got a great product and a great sales team or a great sales process. But you know what? It's not supposed to be this damn hard, right? It shouldn't be this hard because you've got a great product. You've got a great business. You've got a great concept. So let's see if we can help you make it easier today. So did I describe anybody here in any of those slides? In the chat, just put a thumbs up or just let us know. If I missed anyone, let us know. Who else is here, maybe has a different reason for being here? And just put it in the chat. And if not, we'll just move on. But I'm going to, Rutherford, you just joined. I'm going to ask you to put something in the chat. Jacob gave us a thumbs up. I have a phenomenal product that cannot shift. Corrine, you're in the right place. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. We're going to keep going. 100% said Rose. Love it. Love it. So let's continue. Andrea gave us a heart. So here's the good news. Regardless of what you've tried before, what worked and what didn't, today we're going to help. This is the process and the system that I've used unknowingly in my sales career when I was a national sales director for a Fortune 100 company, helping them sell billions and billion dollars of product. This is the process I use. I later learned that this was the process I was using when I joined the Y Institute as their chief growth officer and helped them 10x the number of coaches they had around the world. And now at Why Not Leadership, we're helping companies and individuals all over the world 10x their results, 10x the effectiveness of their teams by working with the strengths of their team. So, you know what? Don't worry about what you've tried before. Don't worry about what didn't work. We're going to show you something new. And if it's something you want to know about, we'll let you know more about how you can take advantage of it. Now, why am I here? Normally I don't like doing this kind of thing and telling you about me, but this is an audience that I haven't known before. Connie did a great job of telling you guys a little bit about me, but I wanted to share a little bit more about my story. So, let's talk about achieving the impossible. I was a sales director for a Fortune 100 company. I managed a $500 million a year quota. But I had a challenge one year. It was a high stakes situation. I was only at 250 million and we were 3/4 of the way through the year. So how was I going to get to $500 million? There was pressure. And man, this was me in my office, just like wondering, what the heck am I going to do? Am I going to lose my job? Am I going to miss quota? What's my family going to do? Because I'm the primary breadwinner. What's it going to do for my self-image? If you've been there, put something, if you've been there, if you've been 3/4 of the way through the year and only halfway to your sales goal, let me know about it, because I know what that feels like. But I was blessed. I had 10 regional sales managers and a sales team of over 100 professionals that I knew was up to the task. So I brought them all together. I said, it's time to collaborate, guys. Let's get together. I brought them in the room and I said, what are we going to do? And I took their strengths and I asked them for their ideas based on their unique ability, their unique strengths. And guess what? We came up with a plan. And that plan was based on what they could do. And it was their idea. And we implemented on October 1st of that year. And at the end of the year, we had reached our $500 million mark, and we exceeded it by $172,000. And I didn't even know what I was doing. How many times, I think we're all blessed in this life to be able to have talents. I've always been blessed, and Connie will tell you, I have unlimited energy. And I've been blessed with the ability to motivate people to move forward at a faster pace, even when they don't want to. I'm also a track and cross country coach, and I love motivating people to achieve beyond their capabilities. But what I have found is that is a lot easier to do when you know the strengths of the people you're working with. I was using YOS before I even knew what it was. I was using people's why, people's how, and people's what. Now, the way I did it back then was the hard way. I was that sales leader that got to know his people at a deep level. I wanted to know about their families. I wanted to know about what motivated them. What were their career goals? And in a way, I was getting to the why, how, and what of people. But guess what? Today, I'm going to share with you a shortcut. It's a really quick shortcut. And we're going to have some people that are on the line, kind of share their experience. So let's get to that time of it. Now, there's a lot of time we have today. We're only 18 minutes in, and we've got about 45 minutes. So I'm going to share as much as I can. I've been pouring love into this presentation for the last couple of months, really. And I've been calling on Andrea and Jacob and Connie, but you're getting everything that I could put into it. And Nikki will tell you, because I've been changing a lot of things, and I've been saying, oh, can we do this? Can we add that in there? But we're not going to get to everything. At the end, I'm going to share with you guys a way for you to connect with me if you want to learn more. And we'll tell you more about that at the end. But we just don't have enough time. So here's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn what a Y operating system is. That's the big question, right? We're going to figure out how to use the Y operating system to find and attract more of your ideal clients. We're going to learn how to use the YOS to make quicker, more meaningful connections with your clients. And then at the end, if we have time, we're going to talk about how to use the YOS to build strong teams that are engaged, empowered, and energized. Right now, Nikki and I and the Why Not leadership team, we're working with a couple of global companies that are changing healthcare, that are changing the way we do document sharing across the world. And we're using this tool to help them build better teams. So show you how we do that. So are you guys ready? Everybody ready? Everybody at the start line? So let's go. So one of the things I love to do is share a quick video that really sets the tone for the rest of our 40 minutes together. So this is a video of a gentleman named Michael Jr. who travels around the world giving talks. Now, Doug, I know you're looking at this like, I've already seen this. I know, but we got to share it with everybody else, okay? And he talks to people, and he calls this break time. In the middle of his presentation, he'll stop and he'll ask questions of the audience. This is one of those occasions. And the reason I'm sharing it with you is because it's really impactful what happens here. So what I want you to do is listen and tell me and think about what you see different as we watch this video together.
No sound, Dan.
You guys need the sound. I think that would be good. All right, let's get started again. This is only a minute and a half.
So you're a musical director. Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Wow. That bro could sing. You know what I'm saying? All right, all right. Now, what you give me the version is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got it. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick, if you know which version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now, right now I'm found, was blind, but now I see.
Here's what I want you to notice. The first time he sang, he knew what he was doing. The second time he's saying, he knew why he was doing. When you know your why, what you do has more impact. So I'm going to open it up in the chat. Tell me what you saw different from the first time he sang to the second time he sang. Oh, this is audience participation time. What did you notice about this singer from the first time he sang to the second time? Yes, Doug, thank you for sharing that. More commitment and passion, Connie, thank you. Anyone else? He was more authentically himself. Thank you, Jacob. Meaning and purpose. I hear that a lot. Thank you, Rutherford. From the soul. Exactly. Love that. Love that. Thank you. Anyone else? Corrine. Thank you, Corrine, for saying that. For from the soul. Love that. Got a thumbs up for that one. So you, Corrine, you're doing great. Here's what I want you to remember. Was his performance good the first time? Give me a nod of the head or put it in the chat. He was good, right? Great baritone, singing at a really well. There's a lot of us out here who are good at what we do. I'm a good sales professional. I'm a good CEO. I'm a good founder. I'm a good dentist. I'm a good doctor. I'm a good consultant. But could we be even better? What did you notice about the audience's reaction? Let's put that in the chat. What was different? The audience reacted differently to the second performance. They saw that passion. It moved the listener. Thank you, Rose. You're absolutely right. Golf clap versus standing and bowing. They were energized and he got a hug. I mean, how many times have you given a presentation where somebody came up on stage and gave you a hug at the end of your presentation? You know you've moved people when that happens, right? So exactly. So when we know our why, what we do has more impact. Here's what I want you to keep in mind. It was the same song, same singer, same location, same audience, completely different result. All that changed was he knew why he was doing what he was doing. So what does that mean? It means you don't have to spend $1 million. You don't have to spend $100,000 on becoming a better speaker or another $500,000 to build your organization. You just need to know your why so that you can come into a room with that outstanding energy that this singer displayed just by knowing his why. That's the good news, right? We don't have, it's not going to, and it didn't take a year. It took what? Just a minute of resetting his mindset. So that's what we did there. So let's tell you what a why operating system is. Now there are 9 whys. Those of you that are, I know that those of you that need to take a screenshot, these are the 9 whys. Go ahead and take your screenshot. And I'm not going to go over all of them because we've only got a little bit of time, but there's 9 whys. Everybody has a little bit of all of them. But rather than tell you about all of them, I'm going to tell you about some people you already know. So let's tell you what the why operating system is first. And why is why you do what you do. Think of it as your driver, your motivation. So your why is your motivation. Think of your how as how you bring your why to life. It's your process. And think of your what as what you bring, what people can count on from you. It's your deliverable. Okay, so that's your why operating system, and it's made up of those 9 whys that we talked about earlier. All of us have all of them. Our top 3 make up our why, how, and what. Any questions so far? Put them in the chat if you have them. As a matter of fact, Nikki, if you don't mind, as people ask questions, put in the chat, save them so that we can have them and cover them at the end if we have time. So let's talk about somebody you guys know, Connie Kadansky, the wonderful and talented Connie Kadansky. Her why is to find a better way and share it with others. Her how is to make things simple and easy to understand and use. And ultimately, what she brings is an outside the box solution. So those 9 whys, better way is her why, simplify is her how, and challenge is her what. Now, anybody that knows Connie, is she the person that's always innovating, looking for a better way to do things? If you know her, you're probably nodding your head. Does she like to keep things simple? Look, don't overcomplicate it. Hey, when I got on this call, she said, hey, we're starting it right on time. We're not doing any exceptions for Dan. We're doing it the way we always do it. Let's keep it simple. And guess what? That's a great way to keep things. And what she brings are out of the box solutions, things that other people probably wouldn't bring. So in the chat, anybody that knows Connie, do you agree with that? And Connie, how does it feel to you?
Oh, it's so true. And then, that process of simplifying the process. So that really rings true. So thank you.
Yeah, Connie, since I've met her, she's always been a better way person, someone that's always looking for a better way. She loves to make things simple. If you've been a client of hers, if you've had your sales process simplified by Connie, she gets you to the important stuff fast. And then she brings you something that's different and out of the box. So absolutely agree with you, Connie. So listen, someone else you guys know really well is Mr. Doug Brunke. We had a tremendous conversation, not the least of which he and I both share contribute and make sense in our YOS. So Doug's why is to contribute to the success of others. He believes that success happens when he contributes to a greater cause. How he does that is by helping people solve complex and challenging problems. And then ultimately what he brings is a trusting relationship where other people can count on him. Doug and I were talking about this. He started the Global Chamber. He took all that experience as an engineer and as a leader and as a founder and as a CEO and said, hey, I want to help make international business easier for people. I want to contribute to the world by making international business easier for people. I want to help people make sense of it. And I want them to know that this is a place they can trust. So Doug, give us your feedback real quick. How did this feel to you? And then I want to hear from you guys. Jacob, thank you.
I don't know that guy. Yeah, that's pretty spot on. Thank you. It's funny that there's so many different characteristics that you could pull from, and looking at Connie's, that one is so obvious and it's so different than me, and yet, we're in many ways we're so aligned in what we do. It goes
Right.
to that this method really works really well and how quickly you came to it. And then the other aspect of it is understanding that in other people, I think makes me certainly appreciate Connie a lot more.
Oh, he's speaking right from script, Nikki, and I promise we did not send that to him. Thank you so much, Doug. That's, we're going to talk about how we use this with teams a little bit later, but you're leading us in the right direction. You are contributing already, Doug. Thank you so much.
Yes, and
So,
you know what else I notice is Doug doesn't get rattled by the complexity.
He doesn't. He's a guy that can, one of the things we know about people with the how makes sense. Nikki is one of them, and I have it as my what. Oh no, her why is make sense. But make sense, people can take in a lot of information and really quickly process it and have an answer. And I bet that's why Doug doesn't get shaken.
I'm a chemical engineer. I had Perry's handbook to design refineries and the chemical, all of that, and it wasn't that daunting. So yeah, that's just I'm a freak, basically, is what it is.
And the beautiful thing is you now know this about yourself. This is your superpower. Stand in it. I'm here to help. The way I help is by helping people understand things that probably overwhelm them, but don't overwhelm me. And ultimately, what you can do is trust that I will do what I say I'm going to do. A fabulous freak, says Corrine Willem. Thank you so much. So Jacob, I know you're only here for a few more minutes. I moved the presentation around just for Jacob. Why does this matter? Why do we need to know this stuff? There's a couple things you need to know, and we're going to cover a little bit of brain biology. Our brain has a couple places in it that do different things. Our neocortex processes rational analytical thought and language. That's where numbers go. That's where people's brain goes when we tell them what we do. I'm a consultant, I'm a dentist, I'm a doctor, I'm a mechanic. I know a lot of people that do what you do. The other part of our brain is the limbic brain, which is where feelings like loyalty and trust reside and where we make 100% of our decisions. Unfortunately, that part of our brain has no capacity for language. So anybody here ever bought something you didn't need? Give me a thumbs up. That was our limbic brain working. Something felt good, we bought it, right? And then our neocortex helped us explain it to our better half, right? I'm driving home in my new car, my new EV6, and on the way home, I have to tell my wife, "Well, hun, we'll never have to buy gas again. We full tank every morning because I just got to plug it in. It's electric." That's the limbic brain said, "Man, this car is sporty, fast. I like the way I feel in it." The neocortex helped me justify it to my wife. So when you're in a sales situation, you want to talk to that limbic brain. You want to talk to the part of the brain that makes decisions. And what we know is that's where your why, how, and what reside. So Jacob, I know you're only here for a few more minutes, but we're going to talk about a couple of things. The golden rule. Everybody knows the golden rule, right? Treat others as you would like to be treated. We're going to talk today about the platinum rule. Treat others the way they want to be treated. Jacob doesn't want to be treated the way Connie wants to be treated, the way Andrea wants to be treated, the way Jacob wants to be treated. They want to be treated the way they like to be treated. So we speak to people in their language, not our language, and that helps us connect with them. So here's Jacob. His why is to challenge the status quo, his how is to find a better way, and his what is to contribute to the success of others. Here's what he's going to do. And everything he does, he's going to think outside the box and different. How he's going to do that is by finding better ways to do things and then sharing them with the world. And then ultimately what he's going to bring is a way to contribute to the success of others. Jacob, is that you?
100%. Yeah, no, and it was really great. Thank you, Dan, for just the opportunity to spend that time with you to help figure out how to tell my story better, because that's something that's been really important to me. And when I think about my why specifically, I've found that sometimes, I'm about innovation. I want to, try to do things differently. I have a big imagination, and, I realize that a lot of people don't think like me. And if I'm sharing, like specifically, if I'm sharing an idea, if I'm sharing a concept, with somebody that has a different why and sort of has a different makeup, there could be that disconnect, and that disconnect could then sort of knock me off my game or knock them off their game. And so it's really like, this is such an important tool with relationship building, meeting people, team building, understanding how to bring out the best in others and speak their language, match their energy. And this is something I think you can find out pretty quickly in a conversation is what people are interested in.
So thank you so much, Jacob. And again, I did not pay Jacob. The only payment Jacob got is he got a free session. We normally charge for a YOS discovery. So Andrea, Connie, Jacob, and Doug did get free sessions, but they're really, I love how you're talking from your heart, Jacob. I really appreciate that. So how does Jacob use, the platinum rule? And so we're going to use the ideal client formula, but we're going to use our friend, let's see, Andrea. So Jacob, thank you for speaking to the importance of the platinum rule, but we're going to use Andrea next. So here's again, Nick, Connie, you'll love this. I keep it simple. The ideal client formula is real simple. If you know your YOS, then we know who our ideal clients are. my ideal clients are people that are looking for my why, people that are looking for my how, and people that are looking for my what. So let's go to Andrea next. So Andrea's why is to also, like Jacob, to challenge the status quo and do things differently. How she does that is by making things clear and understandable. And her what is what she brings is a trusting relationship where others can count on her. So let's plug that into, again, I'm all about simplicity. Here we go. So Andrea's ideal client formula, she's looking for clients who are looking for something different. If you want Andrea to be your coach, if you want to come to Andrea and you want her to do things the way everyone else does, guess what? You're probably not her ideal client. If you're looking for something different, you're her ideal client. If you're looking for clarity, if you're looking for somebody to make things clear and understandable so you can move forward faster, then that's Andrea. And if you're looking for someone who is looking for someone they can trust, so that's her ideal client. So what does that mean? Andrea, first of all, let me give you a chance to give your thoughts on your why operating system that we just shared. Oh, you're muted, Andrea.
Thank you. For someone who's done a lot of this stuff, as Connie has done and many of us have, I was so intrigued and grateful for the fact that it literally showed me from an objective point of view, not only what I hold in my heart and the way that I approach my work and my personal life even, but also how others may perceive you, both from a positive and maybe a confusing, when things don't line up with each other. And it helped me understand that so I can make shifts in that as well. So I really appreciated this. And of course, you provided me with this amazing and wonderful elevator pitch, which basically did that a little bit more in a more detailed way.
I love that. Thank you, Andrea. And have you used the elevator pitch? How's it going with that?
Well, I've just started to integrate it a little bit. The last sales conversation I had, actually would be a pretty wonderful client. I haven't heard back. He asked me, "How do you work?"
Ooh.
Oh, I got something for that. and
Yeah.
and that was great. Yeah, to be able to do that.
So
I
Andrea,
love
will
that.
you share it with us?
What?
Your
Share what?
elevator pitch.
Oh, yes. I haven't tweaked it too much from what Dan gave me, but I'll tell you where it stands right now as
Love it.
I've added a little bit. At Andrea Blue Creates, we believe that success happens, and I added this little bit, when we reflect deeply and help our clients think outside of the box. And for me, that's really, I want you to be unique and differentiated. So that's what I'm looking for. That's my think outside of the box. You don't say it like everybody else. How we do that is by getting really clear on what's comfortable for them and what they're comfortable doing later. And for me, that also includes get clear about who you are, how you want to speak, what is really important to you within the parameters you're working within, but then let's go outside of those. And then ultimately, the what we do is to build trusting relationships with our clients so they can feel comfortable stepping out of that box so they can move forward faster. And that is very much about when people enter into what I do, there's fear. And they need to know that they're going to be held safely into that unknown that they're exploring and that I'm going to do what I say that I'm going to do. And that's essentially it.
Beautiful.
And you do. And you do that so well, Andrea. I got an opportunity. So, Andrea's already given me value. She even gave me some tips for this presentation. So she's an amazing coach. You know how you know when you're talking to a good coach, when they're willing to give you their tips just free because they can't help themselves. And that's what I'm doing here with you guys, right? I can't help but share the positivity and the energy of the people that I've worked with the Global Chamber and what we do, because we want you to be as good as the rest of us or even better. And we want to learn from you. Here's something that's really important. And I've learned this over the 5 years that I've been doing this. And I've learned it when I was a sales leader. And I've learned it when I was an individual contributor. When you tell people what you believe, you attract people who believe what you believe. Notice that every one of our people that I've featured today, their statement starts with, I believe that success begins when we think outside the box, when we challenge the status quo, when we contribute to the success of others. Why is that important? And somebody put it in the chat. That was Nikki. Let's see here. It's about repelling. Corrine said it's about repelling the wrong people for you too. Exactly. You know, Connie, Andrea is going to say to somebody, and let's go back to that slide real quick. Right here. I believe that success happens when we think outside the box. How I do that is by making things clear and understandable. And ultimately, what I bring is a trusting relationship where others count on me. Or she could use her elevator pitch, which was so good. If you stand up in a room full of people and you say that, Andrea, probably half the room is going to say, ooh, I like that. I'm going to go talk to her at the end of the presentation. And half the room is going to say, oh, that's not for me. I don't like to think outside the box. I don't like to do things different. I want to stay with what I do. And that's okay too, because guess what? Andrea doesn't want to work with them either. So it's helping you attract the right people and repel the wrong people. Does it mean she can't work with people who like to do things in a systematic way? No, it just means that those people have to be open to thinking differently. So it doesn't say you can't work with them. It just lets them know it's what you're going to get. Mr. I like to follow the rules. I know that Elisa sent out the handout for today, and it said the speaker wants you to fill it out before the talk. And I know those people that have challenges said, I'm not filling anything out. I don't even know who this guy is. I guarantee you they said that. But I bet you those right way people were like, oh, the speaker wants us to fill it out. I better get on it. And it's probably already filled out before we started the presentation. And that's just natural. Go ahead, Andre. You have a comment.
No, I just want to kind of hark back to what you started with that video, that when you're operating within that, when you say that you can do that work, but
Yeah.
what energy will you be bringing to that work? You can do it, but they're not going to experience the same level of energy and passion as when you're in your why. And that, I just wanted to reflect on that because it's possible. And I think we've all been there. I can do it, like you did with the guy, right?
Right.
Saying
Yeah.
confidently, but then the second time he's like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really good at math. I mean, I scored like a perfect score on my ACTs in math, but I could not be an accountant if you paid me $10 million a year. I could not look and round numbers to the nearest penny and be that detail oriented. It's just not the way I'm wired. So understanding we all have strengths. Just I think what you're trying to say is, Andrea, just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? Because there's stuff that gives us energy. When I'm operating in by the way, my why operating system is contribute, challenge, make sense. So I'm all about helping others. I'm all about doing it outside the box and different. And I'm all about helping people make sense of the complex and challenge. That's what I'm doing right now. The YOS is not simple. There's a lot to it. Those of you that will get a chance, hopefully, if we decide to work together, you'll get a chance to take the YOS. There's 4,400 possible question combinations in this assessment. You only answered 35. I like explaining all of that. I get a kick out of it. And I get a kick out of contributing to businesses and individuals. And I love doing it different. The Global Chamber was something I didn't know that Connie said, hey, you got to bring, we don't know how many people are going to be there, but it's going to be a great audience, Dan. And we promise that it's interactive, and I'm in. It was something different that I'd never done before. So I'll tell you a little bit about my proprietary process. This is what I do with every client I work with, whether they're an individual, a CEO, someone in the C-suite that wants to be a better leader, or whether they're leading a team and they want their team to be better. We start with knowing yourself. You got to know who you are. Yeah, there's a handout there's a leader's action guide in the chat. If you guys want to click on it, that's in there. There's knowing your team, understanding the people that work with you, having your team know each other. So those of you that lead teams, you want them, not only them to know, you to know them, but also them to know each other. Then the fourth part is knowing your leader. Help your team understand you. And then the final part is know no limits. What I have found, what I was able to do with that sales team at Baxter Healthcare some many years ago was no limits. You're 3/4 of the year of the way through the year and you're only halfway to quota. There's no way. My GM sat there and said, Dan, there's no way you're going to make your number. And I said, watch me. Because I knew, listen, I'm a veteran. I don't know how many of you are veterans here. I know that in the military, we do things for others because we know that they would do the same for us. And I built that kind of team. They knew that I was going to do everything I could for them. And they, in turn, were going to give me everything they had. And that's what you do when you build a team that's built on the strengths of every member of that team. So that's the third part and the final part that I wanted to share with you guys very briefly. I know we're going kind of fast, but what I know, here's what I know. When we know the YOS of our teams, we know a couple of things. We know about those tension points. I talked about it a little bit earlier. Challenge people like to break the rules. Andrea's a rule breaker. She doesn't do things the way everyone else does. She's going to do it her own way. But there's people that are right way, and right way people follow the rules. They follow processes. They follow systems. You put them to work together, there's going to be some natural tension, right? Now, does that mean they can't work together? No. It just means that they see the world differently. I like to do this. I'm going to do this really quick, Nikki, because it's my favorite thing to do. Anybody see what I'm holding up? What number do you guys see?
9.
9. Well, if I turn that upside down towards me, I see a 6. So am I right and are you wrong? Or am I wrong and you're right? No, we just see it differently. The same way right way people and challenge people see the world differently. So it doesn't mean I have to say, Andre, you're wrong. You see a 6 or you see a 9. What I need to do is go around to your side of the table so I can see what you see. And now when I can see what you see, I can say, no wonder she sees a 9. Or I can invite you to my side of the table so you can see why I see a 6. And now we can work together. Does that make sense? Here's what we do with teams. Here's if I was president and had my way and Connie, and I would love to be the leader of this team. I had Connie, Andrea, Jacob, and Doug on my team. I would want to know this about them. I would want to know that on this team, I've got 3 people with the Y of challenge in their top 3. This means I've got a creative team that's not afraid to think outside the box and do things different. I also see there's a couple of contributors here. I also see there's a couple of better ways. So I know that there's contribute and trust. Almost every single one of them has contribute or trust in their top 3. These are people that care about other people. I can count on them. They want to be dependable. They are dependable. I also know that they're creative. I also know that I can go to Andrea if I need some clarity. I know I can go to Connie if I need simplicity. I know I can go to Doug if I have something complex that I want something made sense of. So if you're that leader, if you want to be that leader, here's what I know. Exceptional leaders lead teams that are engaged, empowered, and energized. And the reason they're able to do that is because they know their teams. Here's my biggest takeaway, and Audre Lorde says it better than I could ever say it. It is not our differences that divide us. It's our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. Once I recognize how Connie works, I can take advantage of her strengths. I can put her in the right seat on my bus so I can get the most out of her talents and skills and her energy. I have to recognize it. I have to accept that she likes things simple. I'm a complex person. Connie would walk in my office and probably rearrange the whole thing because everything's everywhere. And I have to accept that Connie would not be comfortable working in my office. I would give Connie her own office where everything is in its place and simple, right? But how many times have we been in a work environment where the boss or the leader says, hey, this is the way I do things. You guys got to do it that way, right? And it's not the best way. The best way is to let people be who they are, recognize, accept, and not just accept. How about we celebrate those differences? How about we say, hey, Connie, I've got a project coming up and I'm stuck. I've got to figure out a better way to do it, but I need it to be simple. Can you help me do that? And Connie's going to be like, yeah, give that to me, Dan. I can make it better. I can make it simple. I can help it make sense because that's her superpower. And as a boss and as a leader, that's what that matrix does for the leaders that we work with. They know who to go to for what. So, all right, now this is truly audience participation. I want you to think, what would be possible for you? I want you to put it in the chat. What would be possible for you if you knew how to attract more of your ideal clients? So you're working with people who are looking for your superpowers. Think about that and then put it in the chat. What would that mean? What would be possible for your business? Those of you that want to connect better with your clients. What would be possible if you knew how to connect faster with your ideal clients? so they can feel seen, heard, and understood. We hear that all the time. So you can get them to yes faster. Rose, love it. Quantum leap. Yeah, it would be a quantum leap. It has been. Grow quicker. Rutherford, thank you. What would be possible if you knew how to build a team? Those of you that lead teams or that are starting your teams. Look, my team is 3 people, me, Nikki, and Sunil. But I built my team based on the strengths of my team. If you knew their why, how, and what. So everyone is in the right seat on the bus. Sunil is a right way guy. I'm a challenge guy, just like we talked about. You know, I don't follow rules. I don't do things by the book. Sunil does everything by the book. If I don't tell him to do it, he's not doing it. If I haven't said that's allowed, he's not doing it. But he runs my social media. He runs our YouTube channel. He runs our podcast. I mean, and he does it amazingly. And I know that he's not going to break a rule. He's not going to get me in trouble. He's not going to do something that's outside the box because he is all about doing that. Let me read some more of your Corrine. Fewer clients that are happy to pay more because I'm a perfect link. Yes, Susanna. Dear colleagues, it's been a pleasure to have to jump into a call with Daniel. Excellent presentation. Thank you. Really enjoyed it, Susanna. Well, you guys are going to get the recording. Create opportunities to truly serve the clients in a way that supports their authenticity. Yes, Corrine, love that. Build relationships quickly, grow quicker. So here's the, I don't know why you showed up today. You know, I really don't. It might be because you're tired of trying to figure out every sales hack that's out there, tricks and tactics that hit your inbox, and you're like, ooh, I want to try that. That's exhausting. I know it. I've tried it. You might feel stuck, scattered, and frustrated because it's taking way too long to grow your business. And you likely know in your heart that you're meant to succeed and you're on a mission to do big things. So here's what I have. I have great news for you. You don't have to do it alone. And it doesn't have to be this hard. As you know, anytime you're in a presentation, you have 2 choices. After every talk or presentation you attend, you get to choose one of 2 options, right? One is you can do it the hard way. This is great if you're patient, you're willing to keep getting the same results you've always gotten. Hey, go for it. If you want to stay in Stuckville, it's slow and frustrating. So you can do that, or you can take new action. This is what I refer to as the easy way. And I put a little hint, or okay, Nikki put a little hint over on the easy way. I call it the easy way. The easy way is take new action. So you don't want to waste time figuring out what has already been figured out by somebody else, and you're ready to move forward now. And this is for you if you're saying, Dan, the thought of being in the same place that I am right now, 6 months from today, makes me sick to my stomach. I can't tolerate it. I'm ready to take action. So if you're nodding your head, yes, if you're saying to yourself, yes, Dan, I'm ready to take action, create new results, then I have an exciting opportunity for you. I opened up 10 no cost, Nikki, we set those up, right? 10 no cost strategy sessions. And you can apply for one of those spots there's a link in the chat, I believe, that Nikki just put in.
Can you go to the next slide?
Oh, yes, I can. Hold on one second, Nikki. That one? That one. So there's a QR code on the slide. You can take a picture of that, and that'll get you to the invitation, the application, right? So we can do that. So click, take your picture of the QR code, and we have 10, right now, as I said, I'm working with 2 global companies. We're preparing for a keynote in August. We've got another potential keynote here later in July. All those things take time. So I don't normally take a lot of new client opportunities, but based on the size of this group, we decided to open it up and have 10 appointments. So it'll be over the next couple of weeks to just if you're interested in learning more, if you want to learn more and you're ready to move forward, grab one of those spots and let's just get on a call. Let's look at where you are. Let's uncover some of the obstacles that maybe are preventing you from moving forward more quickly, and talk about some action steps you can take. And then I'll share with you what our programs are, and then see if we're a match. This is not a, hey, am I for you or are you for me? It's, are we for each other? So here's the QR code. Yes, Bill. And there's also a link in the chat that you can click on, and that'll take you to our calendar. But Nikki mentioned something I forgot maybe to cover, or maybe great. There, Bill Edwards. We do have this available in other languages, so we can talk about that. So Nikki, you had mentioned something about the platinum rule.
Yeah,
Could you-
I mean, going to the title, right? How to use it with clients. I don't know that we hit that quite.
Oh, perfect. Yes, let's do that. And if you have any questions, this is be the time, because I'm going to do this with the wonderful and talented Andrea. So here's Andrea. Here's how we use the platinum rule. And Doug and I got a chance to practice it when we had our session. But here's what I know. If I'm working with Andrea, if Andrea is my client, here's what I know. I know what her language is. So Andrea, I really want to work with you. I think you're a great coach, and I think I can bring value to you. And I really want you to be in my stable, but how do I talk to you? Well, here's what I know. I'm going to present to Andrea an opportunity to work with me, but I'm going to tell it to her in her language. Andrea, here's what would happen if we work together. I'm going to show you a different way to connect with your clients, something that not everybody else is doing. Here's what's cool. I have a really clear system and process that you can use so that you can connect with your clients at a level that's so clear. They're going to know each other. You're going to know each other better than you ever have. And here's the best part about it. When you use this system, you're going to build trust with your clients. They're going to trust you, and you're going to be able to trust them because you're going to know them better. Andrea, how does that sound?
Sounds great.
This is, I mean, I've been in sales my entire career, my entire life. I started in sales as a 7th grader selling yearbook ads, and I've loved it ever since. When I was talking to Andrea, I don't know if you guys noticed, but as I was telling her about how this is different, how this is clear, and how this builds trust, she's nodding her head. Rutherford, what's the number one sales cue we want? We want people nodding their heads when we're sharing our idea, when we're sharing our process, our vision, right? Doug did it when we were talking. And it helps that Doug and I share a couple of our whys in our top 3, but that's what I would love to see when I have conversations. And so one of my rules, and it really is a great rule, I don't work with anyone if I don't know their why operating system. Because why would I want to guess what's important to Connie when I can know? I know that Connie's looking for a better way. Where is Connie's picture? Let's bring it up. There she is. Connie's looking for a better way. She's looking for a simple way, and she's looking for something that's outside the box and different. So that's how I'll present it. So here's the other cool thing. When we do these team workshops, Doug's your leader. Where's our leader here? Doug, do you mind if I give everybody a secret to how to work with Doug?
Please go ahead. I'd like to know too.
So when we do these leadership workshops, when we have the leadership team, we'll go through Doug's YOS and say, look, if you're bringing an idea to Doug and you want him to buy into it, tell him how this idea is going to contribute to the success of the team. Tell him what problem you're going to solve. He wants it to make sense. Make sense. People like to solve problems.
Two inspections of the property. I've been
And
at this
show him.
years.
I'm sorry,
And
someone's
I've
trying to
seen a lot of-
talk.
A lot of mistakes. There's a facility in Ridgefield Park.
Hey guys, Connie, can you mute all and then just let me speak? Because I think somebody's on a phone call.
After.
I'm trying to mute, so let's see if I'm missing somebody. Oh, here's another one. Oh my goodness, what happened here?
That's okay. This happens.
I'm trying to solve a problem here, as I always try to do, I guess. It's all about Doug.
We're okay now. So here's the thing. So anything you bring to Doug, show him how it's going to contribute to a greater cause. Show him how it makes sense, and show him how it's going to build trust. And Doug is more likely to nod his head. Now, here's what I also tell teams. Your idea could still stink. And Doug might say no to your idea. But what you're doing by presenting it to him in his language, you're giving that idea the best chance to survive his filters, which are contribute, make sense, and trust. Right, Connie? Doug always asks, how is this going to benefit the members? That's why he started Global Chamber, to contribute to the success of the members. Absolute. So I don't know how many of you have grabbed a slot. There's 24 of you, not counting the people that have already done it. Doug, I gave you a free sneak peek to sign up for one of my one of those 10 slots. 2 spots left. Okay, thank you, Nikki, for the update. So there's 2 spots left. I know that you're going to send out the recording, Connie. If there's a lot more demand for it, we'll have people go through the application process, and we'll probably, I'm a contributor. One of the things you know about contribute people is I want to help. So if there's more than 10 people that sign up, I'll do my best to get to everyone. But guys, this has been such a pleasure to interact with you on LinkedIn through your global community and interact with Doug, Andrea, Jacob, and Connie. And I look forward to meeting the rest of you. Corinne, did we answer your questions? Did we achieve your goal? Excellent.
Absolutely.
Great. Where are you located, Corinne?
I'm in Berlin, in Germany.
Oh, fabulous. I would love to add Germany to the Why Not Lead. I have one coach that I'm working with in Germany right now, but I'd love to, I don't know if you signed up for a spot, but please, let's do that.
I have.
Great. Initial slide. Tamara is looking for the initial slide. So let me see if I can find that for you.
And as you do that, I would thank you. And just to let everybody know that next month on August 8th, we are going to have a Global Chamber member, Landon Pitcher. He's the co-founder of Listo Global, and he's going to do a presentation on sales for the non-sales professional. So people who do not consider themselves salespeople, however, they really do need to embrace that sales. So he's just an awesome gentleman and a graduate of Thunderbird. So please mark your calendar right now, August 8th, and for that. So back to you, Dan, and then it looks like we're going to have to say adios.
Yes. Listen, I think we've got, what he wanted was the 9 whys. So let me get Tamara the 9 whys, and then he can take a picture, and yes, we can get out of here. Any questions you have, you can reach me through LinkedIn, Daniel Dominguez, Why Not Leadership. And my email is dan@whynotleadership.com. And all you need to do is just reach out. I'm glad to connect with all of you. Gabriela, so good to see your face. How are you? Another great person that I met through this venture.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'll let you close it, Connie. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a pleasure to spend time with you, and I look forward to connecting with those of you who signed up for our one-on-ones.
Okay, and Dan, thank you. And I am so inspired. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a value proposition like Andrea did and really work on that. So thank you. And yes, same time on August 8th. So look for that and looking forward to it. And Dan, thank you. I'm reinvigorated and re-inspired. So you really do have that invigorating, empowering energy. So
Thank you so much, Connie.
Thank you.
And Connie, before you go, I want you to know, if you need help with that message, just obviously reach out to me. Be glad to help you like I did Andrea.
Okay. Thank you everybody for joining, and we'll just see you next time. So long.
Hasta luego.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Dan. Amazing.